Hi, my unique formative assessments are silent class polls, which can be in the form of multiple choice, a word cloud, or rankings. My other formative assessment would be short comparative assessment to see how students are performing against each other. For both, I would go about developing them by setting it up on a digital platform. For the silent class polls, there are websites like Google Forms or menti.com. And for the short comparative assessments, I like to use quizzes. You can create the questions and answers manually based on the content of what you're teaching, or there is one already created, so you could just type in the search bar whatever lesson you're teaching, and there will be multiple tests or short quizzes already created by other people. I will implement the silent class polls after any lesson, so it could be in either math or reading, and then ask them to self-assess and reflect on how they felt they performed. I will usually implement the short comparative assessments, like on quizzes, after a chapter or text is read aloud to check for comprehension. I think the barrier is with technology. I have never used silent class polling before, so I would need to learn the digital platform and test it out myself before giving my students instructions to use it. And I would overcome these barriers by watching tutorials and learning how to use the programs and set up polls. Another barrier is if there was an internet outage in the area or low battery on the students' devices. If there was no access to technology in that moment, I would overcome this barrier by printing the questions out ahead of time and asking the students to take out a paper and pencil and ask them verbally as an exit ticket. For my summative assessments, I would choose a final project, for example, a book report, and give them different options for creative projects so they can express what their book was about. And their book report could be submitted in the form of a PowerPoint presentation. They could create a pop-up book, a card game, a sculpture, or even wanted posters. When the assignment is due, the student will bring in or submit their completed creative project and have about 5 minutes to present it in front of their class. The barriers are that students might be unclear on the project instructions or not have enough time to complete it. To overcome this, I would create an instructional packet that lists all the project options to choose from, including a description, as well as a list of deadlines. And I would ask parents to sign a form that states which creative project their child decided to do and a parent signature. This is usually given about a month prior to its due date. My next summative assessment would be the standardized test. It's a STAR test in reading and math. For elementary school, we use STAR by Renaissance. And it's a school-wide effort when implementing the standardized assessment. And it's typically done in September, January, and May. At my school, there's a STAR test committee, and they schedule the lower grades to test in person, and the middle grades will test virtually. And there will be proctors that oversee a certain amount of students depending on their grade level. And these proctors will read the instructions aloud and give the students their 30 minutes to an hour to complete the standardized test. The barriers are with technology again, because sometimes the students will be locked out of their accounts if they typed in the wrong username and password. But as a test proctor, you would have access to the administration account to be able to reset the student's password or unlock them so that they could go back in and take the test. And those are my 2 formative and summative assessments. Thank you.